Hi folks, well I'm down on the river on a miserable winter's day. It was raining earlier, but it's just about stopped and I think it's going to hold out. So what am I down here for? I'm down here for the good old northern pike. And of course a lot of us are going to be out this time of year searching for those big monsters. But I'm sure there are a lot of you who have never tried pike fishing before, would really like to give it a go, but not sure on the sort of kit that's best to take with you when you go. Now what I'll do is I'll run through the kit that I take with me to give you an idea. So let's start off with the rod and reel that I use when I'm out lure fishing for pike. I've tried all sorts of different rods and reels over the years, heavy ones, light ones, and there is a tendency when you first start, you think, right, I'm going to go and catch a big pike, so I need a big heavy rod and a big heavy reel. As a beginner, it's not a bad idea, but you've got to remember that most of the time you're not going to be catching 20 pounders. You're going to be catching sort of lots of jacks, fish of around about sort of 10 pound. And if you've got a big heavy rod, you're not going to get much sport out of it. You're just really going to reel it straight in. So you want to have a look at a rod with a casting weight of between sort of 10 and 40 grams, something like that. That's ample for catching big pike, and of course any pike. So this is the one I use. It's the Fox Rage Ultron Street Jig and Spin. It's got a casting weight of 10 to 35, although that's quite conservative because I can cast lures down to sort of 5 to 7 grams with it, all the way up to lures up to about sort of 60 grams. So it is quite conservative with its casting weight, which isn't a bad thing. It's a single piece blank, so there's no spigot joints, there's no flat spots in the blank. It can be annoying obviously when you're trying to transport it because you can't break it down, but trust me, the performance of a single piece blank is superb. It's got a very soft, flexible tip, like I say, for casting those smaller lures, but it's got a fast action, so it does go stiff very quickly down through the blank, which means it's really good for setting those larger hooks. Next onto the reel, I use a Shimano Aero Spin 4000. And it's perfect for pike fishing. I love this reel. It's not too big, not too small. It is a beautiful, beautiful reel. The next one down from Shimano, I would say, is the X-Age, the 3500, I think it is. That's another lovely, lovely reel. I have used it pike fishing, caught some nice fish with it, but this is my reel of choice. So that's it. That's my rod and reel setup. Now let's have a look at the other bits of kit you're going to need. You're obviously going to need a landing net. Definitely go for a rubberized landing net. They're a lot easier to get hooks out of, and they're a lot safer for the fish. This size is ample even for fish over 20 pounds. You don't want a massive net. Obviously if you're roving around on the bank, you don't want to be carrying a huge net. This is perfect. So that's the landing net. Now the next bit you're obviously going to need an unhooking mat, because at this time of year there's not much soft grass around, there's a lot of debris, so you want to be able to keep that fish safe. So I take with me a little unhooking mat of this size, and this is absolutely perfect even for big fish, because at the end of the day the bit of the fish that you really need to protect is the head and the eyes, and obviously the main part of the body. If the tail hangs off the end, it's not a problem. This one here is made by Fox in conjunction with Cotswold Angling. It's got a nice little piece here that you can kneel on, and it is reversible, but this side has got some nice measurements so that you can measure how big the fish is. So that's all the size you need. Don't need anything bigger than that. It's perfect. So on to the next bits of kit. You're going to need a good pair of unhooking pliers. Now there are different types. These are the pistol grip type, and I've got another type here. These are the long nose type. Personally, I prefer these, but these are easier to carry. I don't know what it is with these. They've got sort of aluminium jaws that you would think would be good for gripping hooks, but actually the steel jaws are much better. And also, of course, they got nice rubber handles, so they're a lot better to get hold of. So that's those. Another important piece of kit you need, you're going to need a good pair of side cutters, because a lot of the time the fish is going to be hooked in an awkward place and it's going to damage the fish if you try and get that out. It's going to be much safer to just cut those hooks off and pull the little separate pieces out. So without these two bits of kit, your pliers and your side cutters, you really shouldn't be going pike fishing. You really do need to have those with you. Very important. And then the last bit of kit you really need is a good little hand towel. The reason for that is when you're unhooking the fish, you want one hand that's wet to hold the fish, and you want the other hand dry so you can hold the pliers. It's very, very difficult when you've got two slimy hands to try and unhook that fish. So those are the basic bits of kit you're going to need when you go out pike fishing. I hope that's helped you. I'm going to go off now while this rain's coming down to see if I can get myself some nice pike. So tight lines, folks. We'll see you on the bank.